If your sales process feels a little bit like this, with a bunch of productivity tools that promised you time savings, but you ended up being the bottleneck of them anyway, know that they can look like this once your sales process runs without you. What we've done here is we've added for a business an AI deal manager agent, which can track when a deal changes state and even kick off a number of different actions so that it can create, in this case, an SOW with pricing. And this is just one of over 167 sales systems that I've built before. And if you sell through online Zoom calls, proposals, and follow ups, and not checkout pages, and most of your deals just don't move forward unless you, the CEO, get personally involved, then I made this video just for you. The CEOs that I work with don't want more tools. What they want is a system that can connect all of those tools that they already pay for. And when I get called in, it's usually after they're finding that every lead is getting worked by hand and follow up only happens when a person actually remembers that it needs to happen. And you can't truly rely on the data in your CRM. You might have some stale contacts or some fields that are left around that you just don't need. So some of your pipeline is just guesswork. And then those lost deals that you can later convert just don't get a second shot. So you might have hundreds of bad timing buyers that nobody ever circled back to at a different time. And this means that you've become the bottleneck of your own sales pipeline. And you know this is the case when your reps just can't close a deal without you getting involved. And imagine instead if Monday morning you start and you grab a cup of coffee or your favorite drink, and you start with your team already having leads that are enriched and loaded automatically in their pane of glass, whether that's their CRM or whatever list they work out of. No more hunting and pecking for each lead by hand. And you can finally trust that data in your CRM, knowing that the numbers are real because all of the records are up to date and current. And those lost deals are getting that second shot on goal. So bad timing just means maybe they'll buy later because those deals get nurtured automatically. And you can finally see your deals advance without having to touch each one as you see your reps can start to push those deals forward on their own. And this is what happens when you stop treating your sales process like a checklist and instead you build it like an engine that needs to keep running. And by the way, if we just met, my name is Diego and I run Unlock the ROI. And I've been doing so for 3 years. And we're an AI automation agency that's completely dedicated to just helping you with your multi stage B2B sales deals to get you out of the bottleneck of that sales process. And a lot of the times at this point, a lot of CEOs are asking me, can't I just do this myself, right? Can't I just DIY this? And the truth is, of course you can. Claude is freaking awesome. Even Gemini and ChatGPT could do the job, to be honest. And it's not about whether you can, in my opinion. Here's what I've seen when those CEOs do try to DIY it. It ends up making you the builder in your business, meaning you're for sure going to be able to wire it up, but now you're needing to keep it alive as well. And you become that one person who just gets it, right? Like the one power user, meaning that the team needs to route even more decisions through you. And once more, now you're an even bigger bottleneck to your business because when things break or people don't know how it works, they need to rely on you. So you end up adding a job to your stack instead of removing one. So what we do is a bit different from what I've seen CEOs do when they DIY or even other automation agencies. And I use what we call our 4D sales automation method, and it's completely done for you. Let me show you how it works. It starts at the bottom and then builds each one on top, starting with diagnose, which is where we go step by step. I want to find out, where do you get your leads? How do you touch them first? And what are all the stages that lead to a close won or a close lost? And then what happens, right? So we want to see every single point so we can identify where you might have some bottlenecks or leaks and show those to you and present the highest ROI opportunities to fix them. That's absolutely free with our sales automation audit. You could book one today. And the next stage is design. This is truly where we differ because I see that especially when you're DIYing, most folks just go straight into connecting zaps or plugging this thing to that. But before a single thing gets built, what we do is we design the full architecture, right? We design the entire workflow so that we understand which tools do we need to have AI make a decision or should it be a human in the loop. And we basically want to make sure that we know what good looks like before we even start touching your environment. But once we're ready, that's where we go on to deploy. Now, deploy has a few stages within it, but think about us building it as much as possible in a sandbox so we minimize impact to your environment. And then once it's ready, because we've QA tested, we've stress tested, and we've run scenarios that might fail, that's when we document it and train your team. Because I personally see you and your team as part of the system, right? The system is not just tools and config, it's what you, the people, do inside of it as well. And once everything is live, Drive is where we can come in and help you monitor, maintain, and keep it running, even fixing it if it breaks, so that it can continue to grow with you. If you have small tweaks, like let's say your ICP changed a little bit, that's not a big deal. We can come in and dial the system so that it continues to grow with you as your business grows. And here's 7 scenarios that I've built so that you could see the deeper dive portfolio of what you can actually do in your business. I'm going to go a little fast, so just feel free to pause if any of these jump out at you. Starting with our lead routing engine, this is what it takes for reps to start that day with that scored, prioritized, and even qualified list that they didn't have to build by hand so that they could just execute call, 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 or email, email, email. And I've seen this one increase the volume of outbound output from a sales team. And next, you have automated LinkedIn outreach. And this is so that you can have automatic connection requests going out and those responses getting triaged and sent to the right folks so that it doesn't just land in some LinkedIn inbox for DMs that nobody's checking. And instead, it's landing in the hands of the right salesperson in your team. And our close loss reactivation, we talked a little bit about this one, but those deals that you lost can be brought back to the table, especially without someone having to manually go digging for them. And the new client handoff is one of my favorite ones. This is so that seconds after your deal closes, your delivery can get kicked off with a project created inside of wherever your delivery team works so that it's one seamless workflow and we don't quietly lose a week to that handoff period. And our sales call prep agent, one of my favorite ones also. This is that you start every single call fully briefed. You don't have to go hunting for all of the information. What did this client last say, or some other decision maker in the business? And you can just basically start every single meeting 100% ready within just minutes. And our pipeline hygiene agent is one of the ways that we can ensure that you can trust the data from your CRM by keeping those records updated so that your deals both don't stall, but they're also up to date. And last, the one that you saw actually at the very start of the video is our deal manager. I use this one personally. I almost live in it, but it's like having an AI sales director. It's one that you can trust to ask questions on every open deal because it knows your offer, it knows your business, it knows your team, it knows your sales process, it knows your tool stack, and it even has the history of all of your deals and records, right? So it is insanely powerful. So I use this one more as a guide. And I once even prompted it while driving to a sales meeting that I was getting to, and I had all of the information that I needed by the time that I parked. Very cool agent. And here you could see, if you're wondering, what does this look like in the real world? What are people actually saying about working together? Our featured case study is James Kalistra. He's former Forbes and now started a podcast booking agency, but he's been running that for some years now. And since working together, James now gets 2 to 3 more clients a month. He has a consistent close rate. Before, he wasn't sure what his close rate was because he couldn't trust the data in his CRM. He was missing a step. And now he feels that sales finally runs with or without him. So go check out that video. And you can even see what some of our other clients are saying. For example, Lauren, who said he built my sales pipeline in a way that made sense and didn't add any clutter. Or Carson, who said that it's running while I focus on other parts of the business. And a little bit more about me. I live inside the tools that you already pay for. I'm in some of these even before most people have had their first cup of coffee. For instance, I'm an authorized partner of Pipe Drives. I'm a Make.com affiliate. I'm a top Dripify partner. I actually have a few other partnerships too, but those are some main ones. And the whole point is that these tools can give us access to literally thousands to tens of thousands of other applications you might be in, whether that's G Suite or Teams or whatever environment you're living in. And if any of that sounded even a little bit interesting, I'm going to ask you to book a call. To do so, please just head to my LinkedIn profile right next to where you saw this video. Probably you'll see this same button that says book a sales automation audit. And again, it's in my featured section. Just go to my profile, search for Diego Barrera on LinkedIn. You'll find me and you can book the audit from there or even from our website if you couldn't find it there. Not a problem. So our website is unlocktheROI.com, by the way. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on our Zoom.